Welcome to the second last episode of Two Cents. It's
It's
episode
third to
98
last, isn't it?
coming from you.
Yeah, it's not second to last. It's third to last.
Fine, okay.
What were you gonna do?
The
Just stop
third
at
to
99?
last.
Come on, man.
Third to last. It's episode 98 of the 100 run. It is June 4th, 2017. This is a live, undoctored news show we do here at Dollar Views for almost entire 2 years. We cover tech, TV, movies, streaming, virtual reality, video games, politics, anything that comes up over the week that I thought was noteworthy and I felt like sharing my 2 cents on. But I'm not here alone. I am Brian Gillis, but I'm here with Stephen Mominex
Howdy.
and also Tyler Marchant.
How's it going, guys?
So you know Steve, you might not know Tyler. He's been on this show several times. I think this is his 5th appearance. He's been on Death Cinema.
Oh, I
and
thought you
Dollar
were
Views.
saying. I thought you were saying Steve might not know me. I was
Oh,
confused
he
by that
definitely
statement.
knows you. We've been on your show. Humor me if you will. Let me try
I don't
to
know, remind
list
me
off
again.
all
I
of
may
your
have
different
killed way too many
podcasts.
brain cells at this point. No, it's been what, like over a year now since we first met online. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, for sure, because he was
Yeah.
on
Yeah, I
episode
think so.
49 and 50, and then I believe maybe one before that.
I think I
and
was literally
the Death
homeless
Cinema he was
at
on.
that point.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think Death Cinema was like 37 or something like that. But yeah, Tyler has way too many podcasts. I'm going to try to do them all. He has Cynical Cartoons, Unfortunate Associates, Tainami. What else? Fucking, there's too
Adam
many.
Sandcast.
The Adam Sandcast,
Don't forget that.
arguably his best.
Right? Yeah, that's the four,
Our
and then I
favorite.
edit some for work as well.
Is just those four, got them all?
Yeah, you got them.
Great. And then what do you edit? Tell us about yourself for the people that haven't met you.
Yeah, those 4 shows that I work on, I produce, host, edit, do all that stuff, and then I work for Unqualified Media. They make On Affairs is Unqualified, Missy and Zach Might Bang, and those shows are just like fucking amazing and way better than anything that I'll ever make.
Well, you got a hand
that's
in it
cool.
too. So
I don't
that's
know.
Cool.
It is cool, right?
Yeah.
I dropped
And they
one of those
just
today.
they're actually over at Clusterfuss right now talking to Hannibal Buress, which, like, I don't know. I mean, it's cool to be a part of something on that level for the first time, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And are you still moving to LA, or is that up in there? You got to join the City of Angels and the angelic voices of podcasting.
I can tell you that if it was up to me to be engineering the show right now at Clusterfest talking to Hannibal Buress, then yes, I would be there. It's not up to me, and I would love to do that sometime.
In the next life or later in this life. And we hopefully talking about the news this week will get you closer there, because maybe someone in Hollywood wants to hear your 2 cents on their news. We're going to start not with the news item necessarily because it's last week, but a follow-up on one. Ariana Grande last night had her benefit concert for the Manchester incident at her concert. And how shitty the world is that them trying to celebrate the people that made it and saying, hey, keep your spirits alive. The same night, someone or a group of people bombed London Bridge. I think something like 10 people died now, or like 8.
I heard it was like 23, or I don't know. The
No,
figures are
that's
all
at the
random.
concert. This is the London Bridge thing. It was
Yeah,
smaller.
no, I know that. I'm just saying what I heard. Like the figures are more consistent when you look it up, but yeah, it's all over the air. From what
Was
I
this
hear
a
anyway.
connected incident? Did they say, hey, we're connected to this other thing and we're doing
No.
it because of the
a
Ariana
terrorist
Grande?
attack.
Okay.
Maybe.
So it's just
I
coincidence.
think
It's
it's
probably
it's
over-
presumed that
Same
it's sort of the
Seems
same.
too
motive.
unlikely
Yeah.
to be. Yeah, it's like it has to be some kind of connected event. And the event being, hey, fuck the UK. Maybe they're going to call these the Brexit bombings. That one's for you. You can have that, newspaper men. But something that didn't bomb this weekend, really big, greater for women than Ariana Grande, Wonder Woman. I've seen it. Steve's seen it. We have an episode of Dollar Views. You can listen to it right now. Tell me you saw this already, Tyler.
Yeah, of course I did. I mean,
Okay,
I
good.
see all of the DCEU movies the opening night, whether I know that they're going to be shit or not. And yeah, I mean, Wonder Woman was awesome.
I saw it twice. So far.
Yeah, I
Who
might
knows
see
how
it
many more
twice.
times. I saw someone on Facebook looking for
You
a
just gotta
partner to see
upsell
it
me,
the second
huh?
time. I just want them to make all the money. They've made so much fucking money already. 100+ million stateside, $250 million global, over 35 million in China, which these kind of movies don't do well in. It's got a 3D release, IMAX, RPX. Fucking, I saw it in Dolby. Steve saw it in 35 millimeter somehow because he's a lucky bastard.
And I didn't even expect that. No one knew about it until like they just said, "Oh, by the way, we got a 35 millimeter print." So, yeah, that was the thing.
The best
and it was
thing,
actually really cool.
The best thing about this success too thus far is even though Lebanese cinemas boycotted the film because Gal Gadot is Israeli and they hate Israel and Israelis, that was only 15 cinema houses, so it didn't really fucking matter. It's still global monster.
It mattered to the Lebanese fans that wanted to see a Wonder Woman movie.
They're gonna get a
got shit on by their government.
They're gonna find a pirated copy, hopefully with Lebanese subtitles that Warner Brothers just puts on the internet for funsies.
Well, hey,
just
so
like,
much for
go.
Trump trying to fix the Israeli-Palestinian conflict there. You know.
Well, it's
So much for
Lebanon.
that.
Their food's good. They're assholes.
How is the movie tracking financially compared to like Suicide
Big
Squad
time.
and Batman v Superman?
It's
is it doing better than
technically
those?
it's the lowest opening DCEU, but it's still 100 million.
It's gonna
plus,
have
you know?
legs.
Like it's one of the top like I think 50 openings of all time. So
It's gonna next weekend probably even have bigger numbers.
like yeah,
than
it's
that,
not
I
just
feel.
people like loving the movie for the reasons that they want to love it. It's actually good beyond that. So I really hope that the
Right.
drop is not that big next weekend.
I think it's still gonna make 70, maybe like 75.
Well, I mean, what is the next thing that can actually
75
compete with
million?
it coming up?
Wait,
I
what?
mean,
What like
I got a feeling.
what is the next movie that might like push it out or push it down in the rankings? Because as far as I know, there's nothing really big coming out
Transformers,
except for
probably.
Transformers.
Yeah.
Transformers
Right.
2 weeks
And
from
that's
now.
a few weeks away.
Yeah.
That's like 3 weeks away.
and then there's
So nothing's gonna touch it. Captain Underpants
then there's
is gonna
Spider-Man
take away from the
Homecoming, I
audience.
think, right after that.
Yeah, that's early July though. That's a month from now.
That's the
so
first
this is
week of
gonna
July,
ride the
yeah, so-
waves. It's like basically exactly a month away.
Yeah,
It's gonna
I mean-
be surfing for a good couple of weeks, and hopefully there is no drop off. I'm sure if I don't go next week, I will go before it leaves again. But I think I'm gonna go see Captain Underpants on Tuesday because I grew
Yeah,
up. I have
that's
those.
another
and
thing
that's
too.
kind of my.
There's good
my
counter
intro to comic
programming, I
books.
guess.
I mean,
at least for
I think that
kids,
there are
like,
some things that you
there's-
can. Yeah, I think that there's some things that you can let go even if you watch them a lot as a kid. Like I'm not gonna go
Sorry,
see
we're
a
all talking
Caillou
over each
movie if they
other.
put that out. I don't give a shit how much I watched it when I was 3 years old. Like Captain Underpants seems like maybe it's past its prime. I don't know.
I'm gonna go like $7 3D ticket. Just because I
Yeah,
can.
sure.
I have Tuesday off anyway, and Dav Pilkey wrote some shit that I really liked as a kid. I found that humor very. It's a very long superhero like toilet humor joke.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I read the books a lot as a kid. I just think that the voice cast in that movie is not
No,
impressive to me
Kevin
at all.
Hart,
Like, Ed Helms
really?
and Kevin
Like,
Hart.
I'm
are
not a
terrible.
Kevin Hart
That
guy,
still
but,
rubs
like,
me the wrong way.
Ed Helms and Thomas Middleditch is pretty good. I just don't like that
I
they
like Thomas.
like Professor Poopy Pants as the first enemy is kind of weird. That was I think it was like book
That's like
4,
book 4, yeah.
but fuck it. Like I don't think talking
I
toilets.
would have rather seen Talking Toilets. Just
that
go
wasn't
nuts.
gonna work though. Like maybe they
For
make an
animation,
appearance.
If come on, if
How
you embrace
about-
that, like come on,
I
Phil
don't re-
Lord and Chris Miller could have done that. Just
Maybe-
embrace the absurdity of
Yeah.
that.
We know the story. Maybe Poopy Pants unleashes the talking toilets. Maybe that's his army
Maybe.
instead of just having like a big mech suit. But
don't
maybe
know,
I'll
we'll
find
see.
out and it'll be on Dollar Views next week. And if you catch it too, Tyler, maybe we can talk about it.
But, yeah, I just realized. It is
I'm not.
crazy.
I'm not watching Captain Underpants in theaters. I'm not doing it.
It is
I'm
crazy. We
sorry.
got 3
I mean, like,
animated films coming out this month. There's Cars 3 and there's Despicable
Emoji.
Me 3. Like, is that this
An
month?
emoji movie too. Is that
This month?
August?
yikes.
Yeah, I know it's this summer, but is that this month? Like,
Not June. I think it's early July.
yeah, no, there's 3 this
No,
month.
ooh.
So
It's either got to be late July or this month because Sony wouldn't put it up against their own Spider-Man.
no,
Who cares? No
it's,
one's gonna
it's
see it.
probably later. I
don't care.
Know, Angry
I
Birds
think
did well,
that the
so-
offerings for animated films for this year are kind of pathetic, you guys. Like Lego Batman movie was good. Despicable Me 3 looks like shit. Cars 3 looks like shit. Boss Baby was terrible.
The only
nothing-
The
selling
Emoji movie, like
I've
Well,
not seen a
Ross
single
Baby's
animated
getting a
film
sequel.
this year, and there's not one I've been looking forward to at all.
Lego Batman was fairly good. I think you should rent
Yeah.
it. It's worth a rental.
I still.
I
Gotta
mean,
get to that, but
Coco
yeah,
looks
so-
okay. It looks ambitious and like they're actually going to try and do something. And
The
not
look
just,
of
like,
it
be
is
like
cool.
A
Was
The
trailer
social
even
is
dropped
really
for it
cool.
yet?
But
There's a short film and a trailer. The short film with the dog, that one's actually really good. So I'd go on YouTube and find that. I forget the name of it. Pretty funny.
what about the Crudes 2
fuck
or Surf's
no.
Up 2? Wave
Croods 2
Mania.
died a while ago.
And Wave Mania was
They
directed.
just killed it, which was a bummer. 'Cause
direct
I
to
actually like
streaming.
that one.
I didn't see The Croods yet. I know it's on Netflix and
good
they have the
movie.
show on Netflix, but
Wait, they have a show
haven't got
for it?
there. Yeah, it's one
No,
of
it's
those
just
DreamWorks
not good,
Netflix
though.
shows, like
Yeah.
the
I know
How
they
to
got
Train
one
Your
for
Dragon
Turbo,
and Turbo and every single DreamWorks show gets an animated thing on Netflix nowadays. That's part
Yep.
of their agreement for the streaming rights. That's probably gonna go forever, especially since How to Train Your Dragon 3 got delayed. If that's coming, I haven't heard anything about that in a long time since the
I think
delay.
2 more years, or no? Is it next
Yeah,
year?
I think it's no, I think it's 2 years.
Maybe 2 years. I don't know.
Well, since we're talking about upcoming movies, here's the big one. We actually talked about this last week because it came out. When was that? I forget. But Adam Wingard, indie horror
We talked
aficionado.
about this like 5 days ago off air.
Yeah, off air. He is doing Godzilla versus King Kong, which is a big surprise.
I saw that. Yeah,
Kinda
that's awesome, dude.
Pretty crazy. I mean, he is a good fit, and hopefully this makes it kind of spooky in the way that the Aquaman standalone by James Wan might be spooky too. Like if you could get superhero / monster crossover with the horror genre, since horror is booming so big now that it would kind of be, and then look at Universal's Dark Universe too. They're hoping that they can touch into the horror franchises too.
Yeah.
It's a special time to be a fan of scary things.
Yeah, but it's a whole thing where like the studio brings in like sort of a prestigious director. Like people loved The Guest is like fucking
So good.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And what was the other one that he did? The one with the family and the harpoon guns.
You're next.
You're
with
Next,
the
right? That's a
girl.
great movie too.
And he also
so like
did
I mean,
Blair Witch
And
sequel, which was
ABCs
fun.
of Death, he worked on that,
Yeah.
and he has the second best segment, VHS one.
right. And so like Monsters was great. Like Gareth Edwards did some cool stuff before he did the first Godzilla movie, but I saw it and just like it doesn't. There's nothing really there. Like I saw it in theaters, it was fine, whatever, and I'll probably never watch it again.
Kong Skull Island?
Yeah, Kong Skull Island was fucking awesome. So that's the thing with a first time, or not a first time director, but a director who hasn't had a $200 million movie before. Maybe it'll turn out like Mark Webb doing the Amazing Spider-Man, and they'll just cave to every studio whim. Who knows how it will turn
Adam
out.
Wingard's got more movies under his belt.
Yeah,
like the guy
much
that did
more.
Kong Skull Island literally made
Had
that
one.
jump from what was it, Kings of Summer, and that was.
But then
I imagine just
Yeah.
totally a completely different movie. Like that's a coming of age story. And then I didn't see Kong Skull Island, but
and Patty
I
Jenkins
imagine
also
it's not
went
similar,
from
really.
roadside anti-prostitute film True Story to
Right.
Wonder Woman. So if anyone can make something different, you don't follow yourself.
Don't
Catherine
forget
Bigelow's
Patty
a good
Jenkins,
example.
though, had a lot of TV work. In
A lot
between.
of TV,
Yeah.
but
It was.
I really
show.
support the choice of who they went with. I was actually really polling for a while for Michael Dougherty. He made like
Oh yeah, Trick or Treat.
Krampus and
Yeah.
Trick or Treat, right? And
I
he's
still
awesome.
haven't
I'm
seen-
excited to see what he does next.
I might watch both of those this Halloween.
Krampus is good, man.
Yeah,
I want to see
Krampus is
but
fucking
at the
awesome.
same
That
time, I
movie
feel like
rules.
I should save Krampus for Christmas.
That's yeah.
like maybe Dead to
I
Cinema
watch
this
it year
Christmas.
round. I just showed it to a friend 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we saw My Bloody Valentine this past Valentine's Day. That is
Mm-hmm.
one of those too. Like it's also Black Christmas, which we did this past year with Brennan from Scream 101. Both of those are just
The original or the cheesy 2006
The original.
one? 'Cause
The
they're both
original.
great.
I have the
2006
I do
one.
like
I'm
the 2006
watching.
one.
I know for a fact I'm watching that remake this year, either Christmas or Halloween once again.
I legitimately love it. I think it's a fun time. It's not
Mary
an
Elizabeth
amazing
Winstead,
movie, but
has
yeah,
that
exactly. And
going for
the
it.
girl from Arrow,
Which one? The
Katie
white-
Cassidy, she played Laura.
the white or black carrot, black canary, white canary.
She was Black Canary for a little while, but she's off the show now.
Well,
On and off, she's like a weird otherworld Earth 2 version of Laurel Lance. It's bullshit. It doesn't
Arrowverse is
matter.
too complicated. I'm gonna catch up on Flash over the next week, probably this week since it's all on Netflix, and so is Riverdale. So I'm gonna binge that
Yeah.
fucking thing, and then probably
Riverdale's awesome.
then I'll start not 2 cents, Twin Peaks, because I think I'll just save those until they stack up, so I can watch it in one sitting.
I will say Arrow seasons 3 and 4 were terrible in my opinion. Season 5 was like the best of the 4
The Mayor
DC TV shows this last season. Yeah. And like the whole the villain plot in that season's amazing. Like they really knew that they fucked it up and they had to like sort of take it back. Flash sort of floundered a
Damn
little
you,
bit
Barry.
this year. Everything else was okay.
Too many speedsters. Warner Brothers
Yeah.
TV is our last little just conversation thing before we get in the show. Warner Brothers TV, they're bringing back one of their beloved animated classics. I'm sure both of you will be excited about this. Animaniacs is going to make a return. Steven Spielberg's
I saw that.
involved. So who knows when this is
Yeah.
actually going to happen since he's so fucking busy. He's doing Ready Player One post right now. He's already working on his Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep post film about Watergate or whatever.
It comes out this year.
Right.
He has Bring Me the Head of whatever. He's a producer on so many things, especially at DreamWorks and Amblin Partners and this and that and Jurassic Park and oh my god, like he needs to take a like Soderbergh vacation, and it would be cool if he did that and did TV. That'd be amazing. He's working on
well,
Indiana
back
Jones.
in the day when
Ridley Scott's the one that keeps busy all the fucking time.
Ridley Scott is not as busy as Spielberg.
Oh yeah, are you
No
kidding me?
way. No way.
Do you realize how many movies Ridley Scott has made this decade alone? Like, how many movies he's produced, how much TV he's produced?
Spielberg.
it doesn't matter, dude.
like,
Spielberg is totally
Spielberg
working
is
on more
richer,
things than he
I'm
is.
sure,
He
but
always
Ridley
is.
Scott is fucking busy.
Spielberg is on the head of the virtual reality company with Michael Stromberg. Like he's busy nonstop working on that shit. They just put out their first original short, Raise the Ruckus, that's at like IMAX VR and other theaters, and it's already on Oculus too, and he's a producer on that. Like Ridley Scott's doing VR too, but not like this. Not like I'm on the board of directors, I'm doing this shit, making power moves. Like Spielberg has his own studio.
They both have a lot of stamina for their age. Man.
Too
they're
much.
both crazy busy right now.
Take a break, guys. Take a break. Like, I can't wait to see the press tour for Ready Player One, but I also can't wait to see this in Animaniacs reboot. I have a feeling where it's gonna go is either the Cartoon Network streaming thing, or I'm not Cartoon Network, Boomerang that just came out. That streaming only
Oh
thing.
yeah, sure.
Or maybe
fair.
even like the DC Comics one that's coming as well. It could go there. They could just make it like, instead of just Warner Brothers heavy, make it also DC heavy and have like a crossover. But where's this up? Is like, is there going to be Pinky and the Brain on this? Like, how far is it going to go? Is it going to be the original cast, or are they going to do like a DuckTales
Are
thing?
you planning on watching it, Brian? Like, I mean, Tyler, I'm guessing you likely are out of curiosity at the very least, but
Here's the thing.
I don't know.
I don't
mean,
care.
Yeah, like I'm fine with it existing. You know, like the Looney Tunes show was a thing. What was it, like almost 5 years ago now?
I don't know. Well,
right
this
now
is-
it's just like I don't know.
This is
I'm
a
kind
different era of
I'm
the.
just kind of phased by all these revivals at this point.
Yeah.
that it's just like
I find this
well,
at
you know,
least
I
this
have
one's
the
Yeah,
animation.
original
I will
at
say that
least,
a
I'm
lot
gonna
of the
cherish that.
revivals are not.
Go
Yeah,
Tyler.
ahead.
Sorry, I feel like I'm getting Skype lag. I feel like I'm talking over people.
It's
Sorry.
all good. Go ahead.
I feel like a lot of the revivals aren't quite working out the way that we necessarily want them to. Like they were talking about bringing back Danny Phantom 2 and lots of
That
stuff.
seems like a waste.
man.
I mean, they did just bring back Ben 10 though.
Well, that's the thing though. We have Powerpuff Girls, we have Teen Titans Go, we have Ben 10, and I know that you love Teen Titans Go, but it's
I
not.
do. It's not
good.
Teen Titans. It's Teen
Right,
Titans Go.
I'm sorry.
It's 15-minute little.
I know.
It's basically
Well-
taking the best part of Adult Swim that you get a little short without any commercial breaks and making it very accessible for young kids. I love that.
Right,
It,
and,
like,
and there are 15-minute shows that are accessible
Yeah.
for kids and also very, very good, like
Fuck off,
Steven
man.
Universe or Adventure
Th-
Time.
dude,
like,
those
Teen
shows
Titans Go
have-
fucking sucks.
Batman and like Jim Gordon cameos, or how about Darkseid pillows like on every couch? They have Joker every once in a while. You got obviously the cast being Cyborg, who's in the Justice League this year. Robin.
Isn't that what Batman Brave and the Bold was? And that show was awesome. And this show
well,
it sucks.
Brave and the
It
Bold
sucks.
is a different kind of campy tone, though. I do
I-
like
I
that
will
as well,
say-
especially like the Elongated Man or Plastic Man stuff. Also, how they use Batmite. He's awesome in that show, voiced by Paul Rubens. But Teen Titans
Right.
Go, it's like it's not anything to do about being a superhero. It's like eat your vegetables. Like
No,
Beast
I
Boy's a
understand.
vegetarian.
I
It's
understand.
so
I've seen
fun.
several episodes. I just not a fan.
No, I get
I've
it.
been jumping around to different streaming services lately, and I will say this: I tried out the Boomerang app that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're already tanking it. Like you
Yeah,
go
they
in
don't
there,
have
and
the
the opening
content they
animation
need.
is
It sucks.
right. Exactly. The opening animation is like. They have the Flintstones, they have the Jetsons in there, and then you get in there, there's no
The new
fucking Flintstones
Scooby-Doo.
or Jetsons. Right. And so, like, you see, I mean, I got a month-long subscription, and I
Yeah,
had some fun
the
with
free
it,
trial.
and it was okay. But after that month, I was like, I'm not really caring about this, and I signed up for a subscription to Hulu, and then now I've been, binging
Yeah,
around
just
on there for
floating.
a little bit. So,
I looked at
Yeah.
it. I didn't even want the trial because it's exactly like you said. It shows you like Tom and Jerry and Flintstones and Jetsons, like the
right.
the
and there is some
the Triple
there is
Crown.
some really great stuff on there. I was watching a lot of like classic Looney Tunes and like Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century. A lot of Scooby Doo. There is some good stuff on there. It's just not.
It's not
what
as
it
grandiose.
Needs to be.
Like it needs to
Right.
be the Boomerang content plus original Cartoon Network programming and Adult
Right.
Swim and
it
like
needs
exclusives.
To be all of Hanna-Barbera. It really
all
does,
of the
'cause, like,
Batman stuff ever, including
Right.
the animated series, The Batman, the original Teen Titans, plus the movie Powerpuff Girls. Like literally, if it's animated and it's Time Warner, it needs to be on an individual
Right.
service. Not here's Boomerang.
And see, here's the thing: is that there are thousands of Hanna-Barbera shows from the
Mhm.
'80s that
Wacky
nobody could possibly
Races,
give a shit about. But they're fun,
Snagglepuss.
right? Space Stars, right? That kind of stuff. And so, why is Space Stars not on there? It's not like they are losing revenue if they put Space Stars on the Boomerang app. People will actually sign up to watch that. So, like,
They're gonna get there.
Why
We're
is the
talking
collection
about
so shitty?
the AT&T Time Warner company, you know? So when they figure that out, they already got HBO pretty down pat between HBO Go and
Sure.
HBO Now. They have, this DC one that's coming later this year with the Titan show, plus the new Young Justice League, or that I know you're going to watch.
Yeah,
They're
it's gonna be
gonna
awesome.
probably have the films go there directly instead of going to HBO because it makes more sense. And I think
Yeah.
either they're gonna segregate it like that. They'll have HBO for HBO content, DC for this, maybe Boomerang for that. Maybe they'll make Adult Swim. But then again, for Adult Swim, a lot of that content you watch for free. Same goes with Cartoon Network already. You just get the app on your mobile device, and you can do it without commercials.
I hate the segregation of everything. Like, I understand why so many different streaming services exist, but like the fact that Warner Brothers could own two different streaming services specifically for cartoons, and one of them is for old cartoons, and one of them is for superhero cartoons.
Well,
Like,
they have
that
two
fucking
HBOs,
sucks.
so.
Yeah.
They have DirecTV and they have DirecTV now. It's going to become literally vertically integrated. One of the things that actually didn't make it on the news show this week is that AT&T is offering an even better cable package to its mobile subscribers. Like if you want unlimited, you can do that and get DirecTV now basically for free, and you get X number. And then you can get this and you get that. And now, it doesn't count against your data plan. The new thing that they're adding is $60 a month. It's like pretty much all the channels, and you once again have the unlimited streaming. You get HBO for free. They have like a shitty version of T-Mobile Tuesdays called like DirecTV Tuesdays or something, where you get or AT&T Tuesdays, where you get two movie tickets for the price of one but it's on Tuesday, so who cares? So they're figuring it out. I think maybe they're kind of slow to the chase, or just because they're probably going through more things in terms of competing with China, competing with NBC Universal or Comcast, and then at the same time just trying to go down all these avenues that if they actually get the FCC approval, if they do the final merger, if they become the new AOL Time Warner, that it's going to actually start clicking. Because by then it's going to be like 2-3 years by the time it passes and becomes a unified like stock ticker and all that shit, that we'll get it then, but at least they're trying. At least they're trying. Like, look at what like Disney offers. They offer nothing. So you want to do them, you have to get ESPN another way or get ABC this way. Like, they don't offer any of their content, especially Disney content, in some kind of streaming model. Not to mention Disney Play movies anywhere.
Right. So when I did the Hulu subscription thing, basically I haven't used Hulu in several years, and I didn't know that they had like a great selection of animation and a lot of actually decent stuff on there.
Yeah, documentaries, IFC. Not to mention Hulu with live TV.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. So like I got the live TV one. It's a 5-day trial, and then after the 5 days, I went down to the no commercial option because they want to charge you $40 a month just for their live TV option, and that sucks. I mean, all I want to watch is Cartoon Network and maybe CW, but they don't even fucking have it. So like, I'm not going to pay $40 a month for Cartoon Network so that I can watch reruns of shows that are also just available to stream already. Like, it sucked. It wasn't good, and also I couldn't play it on my Xbox 360 or my laptop. I had to watch it on my Android.
You need an Xbox One. I told you that.
Or an Android.
Well, they don't have an iPhone app?
No, I don't have an iPhone.
Oh, okay.
I had to watch it on my phone is all I'm saying.
I know they
I wanted
do,
to watch live TV.
Yeah, like any Android, any iOS, Apple TV, Xbox One, and browser. Because, it just came out. But was at least the quality good?
Yeah, it looked okay, but I was watching it on a 4-inch screen.
Oh, yeah,
I wanted to watch Steven Universe, the new Steven Bomb. I wanted to watch it on my TV, using my laptop in a legal way.
We could have done
for the
Chromecast.
first time ever watching Steven Universe legally, and
Chromecast next time. $35.
Yeah, but I'm not going to do the Hulu live TV.
Well, you'll find
$40 a month is a lot of money.
That's so. We have chronicled, and next week I'm probably going to do, or maybe I'll save for episode 100, actually talk about all of the news threads that we've ever covered on 2 Cents, and one of the big ones is over the top wireless or cord cutting TV. So when they came out, YouTube TV, Hulu with live TV, Amazon channels.
Sure.
There's so many of them when you really think about it. Sling, DirecTV Now,
Right.
all the different ones. And from what I could gather, if you are in the market, PlayStation View also, if you are in the market, Hulu with live TV is probably my favorite, just for the fact that you not only have access to the live TV content and that DVR and all of that stuff, but you also have the Hulu library of original shows and movies and whatever they have in their streaming content. Whereas when you do YouTube's, you don't get YouTube Red. If you do Sling, you don't get like cheaper Dish Network or whatever. The only one
Right.
being DirecTV Now, because you get the free data or whatever. You get free HBO, which
Well,
is nice. But
Right, but what it comes down to is me paying $30 extra just to watch Cartoon Network and maybe
Yeah.
Nickelodeon.
Yeah, you can do
Like,
better
I just
than
want to
that.
pay $10
It's
bucks
not
a
worth it.
month
I mean,
and watch Nick
you could probably
Cartoon
even get
Network
like a
and
season
CW.
pass on Amazon if you wanted, right? For a show
Not
like that.
for that. Like,
I don't- I
season
don't know.
pass is pricey though
Nickelodeon shows
too.
had that option. I know for Legend of
Oh,
Korra,
yeah,
that
for
was the
sure.
case, but
Right, but that's that's
it's
paying
after the
$2
fact.
an episode for digital copies of episodes. Like I could just buy the season if I'm going to do
Yeah.
that, but I want to watch Steven Universe live or Adventure Time live.
They'll come up with a way. I think the streaming is just going to become better to the point where it's basically free. Like right now, the best option if you have AT&T is to go with their service. To be honest, like that is the way to go, because you could watch as much as you want. I know you don't want to do it on your phone, but you could, and it's not going to hurt you. But yeah,
I can't watch a movie on my phone.
I-
man.
I-
I just
no.
can't.
I don't
I know
want
that
you
I'm a
to
millennial
either.
and I shouldn't be so fucking
Just-
picky.
no,
but
just,
I love film. I can't do it.
take some of your money, get yourself a streaming device that works on all the platforms you need, and then you'll have a much cheaper way of doing cable or satellite.
I'm going to buy an Xbox One so that I can do that.
You
or
can
are
actually
talking
get
about
one.
Chromecast?
I'm saying something. You
See,
can do
a
Chromecast,
tablet,
Xbox One,
I can
Apple.
understand that, but a phone though, like no, that's way too
Hey,
small.
to be honest, if you take your video game seriously and you want to jump to the next dimension, play Lego Dimensions, you're
I
an
do
Xbox
not
One,
take my video gaming seriously. I've been playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 on my Xbox 360
it's
for
funny you say
6
that.
months.
I just got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 in the mail this week. For
I got a
PS1.
PS2
Yeah.
copy of that.
I mean, it's that and it's Lego Star Wars. I don't take my gaming seriously. I use my Xbox 360 rarely, and that's barely even worth keeping.
It's not worth anything, so don't get rid of it. This is the part
No, I know
where
that.
we tell you guys that we don't do this for free. We do it for love, but we also do it for money if you want to give it to us. We currently have one supporter. It's the great Evelyn. She supports us with $5 a month on Patreon.com. For that money, not only does she get our undying love and I can't speak, and gratitude, but she also gets show notes for every 2 cents. So literally my script that I'm reading right now that has all this stuff, she gets that. So I doubt she doesn't want to listen, but if she chose not to, she doesn't. And we also do all kinds of great things, my favorite of which being we can do commercials. As I said at the top of the show, this is the third to last episode. We are ending it, but we also have Debt to Cinema. We have dollar reviews. We have a few dollars more. We do other content, and you can hear about that in a minute. If you want to donate,
What's that
Patreon-
URL, Brian?
Patreon.com/dollar-reviews. It's like a patron, both an E in there. So my pitch this week, and this could be your spot. Last week it was Fleshlight. This time it's Carmex. I talk a lot. I have several podcasts.
You think?
And part of being able to talk for long periods of time is lubrication. You need a beverage of some sort, water being my go-to most of the time. I have a canteen in front of me, which just so happens to be emblazoned with the PlayStation Triangle Circle Square X. Gotta love it. I carry it with me almost all the time. But that's not enough. That's how you wet your palate. To keep your lips in great condition, you need that extra oomph. I've gone through many. I started, like most people, with chapstick. It is the generic brand name nowadays, genericide. Everything is chapstick, except chapstick sucks. I moved from that to Blistex. I tried a couple of different things. I have EOS. I have this. The one that I found works the best for me, though, and is also cheap because no one really recognizes it, is Carmex. I have it both in stick form and the salve itself, the original lip balm, in its yellow tube that you kind of put on like lip gloss, and it looks like it. But god damn does it work. It's got camphor in it, it's got menthol, and it makes your lips kind of tingle a little bit, and it's perfect. You can talk forever.
I just got to say, I mean, I know I should have my phone off, but it's funny that it just went off on this particular thing because I just got an email from Patreon saying that Tyler just became a patron of Dollar Reviews.
No, he didn't. Stop.
I literally got that right
Tyler.
now. Just now.
I'm a man of the people. I'm a good friend, and I want to give you guys a nice going away present.
Thank you, man. I can't.
Yeah.
My phone's in the corner, so good. Yeah, good thing
and
Steve
I'm
was
silencing
on.
that right now.
Well,
so.
now we have 2 Patreons. Thank you, Tyler. But yeah, the Carmex thing, I seriously am never nowhere without it. If I am fucked. I would say I'm not addicted to it, but I do use it all the time. Look into some. You can get 1 tube for like $1.29. You can get a 3-pack for like $3. I guarantee if you use lip gloss or some kind of lip balm of any type, you're gonna like this one. You get cherry flavor, original, strawberry. The sticks that they have, the click sticks, they actually click when you turn them. I have pomegranate strawberry. You can get like a lime zest one. They're all good. They're all great. If you don't have them, Tyler, maybe you should get one. Maybe I'll have to send it to you now.
Kit, can I use my Patreon donation to actually make you change that ad on future episodes into being Burt's Bees lip balm?
No, because
that's what I'd like to have.
I don't like Burt's Bees. I have like an allergic reaction to it. Maybe something to do with the bee honey.
Well, that's
I'm
too
not
bad.
sure.
You're gonna have to use it every week from now on.
Now, if you want to do an ad like this, the money that we're asking currently, but it could lower, is $50 a month, and that's great. It was a great deal in the 2 cents era because we did do 3 to 4 episodes a month, which is a lot for your money's worth. But even still, Jet to Cinema, that is still 3 to 4 episodes a month, not to mention the dollar reviews. So you do that $50 a month, you're going to get it. And then the other points, like I said, you could be PlayStation friends with me. We could follow you. We can have a Skype chat together. Maybe you need some feedback on your script. And I have like a going away present for 2 cents, but maybe you can finally see why I feel my 2 cents are worth it, because I'll put something that I actually filmed or edited, to be more particular, on the internet for your viewing pleasure. But yeah, thank you, Tyler. If you want to get in touch with Tyler, he's all over the internet. We didn't do that. On Twitter, he's Future Horse Pod. Or is it just Future Horse?
FutureHorsePod.com as well.
Okay. He's on Twitter.
Yeah,
he has
I
a
always wanted
website.
to ask, actually, what's the origin of that name? Like, how'd you come up with that?
Oh, sure. I was originally going to call everything
Man, Bear
Adam
Pig?
Sandcast. I was going to call it
Should've
after
done
my,
it.
my
Should've done
original
the dollar
podcast,
reviews
which I was
thing.
happy I
one.
didn't do that.
No, you
Yeah.
should have done it.
No,
Yes.
because now that show is just pretty much over, and
It's gonna
you
go
know,
forever.
Future Horse Pod, it's an all-encompassing
As long as
thing. I
Netflix
sort
is
of think
around,
of it
it'll
as
keep
like
going.
Oh, wait.
if
We forgot about Get Real, Rob. You do that, or you did that, at least.
right. That's part of the Adam Sandcast umbrella. But Future Horse Pod is basically like if you had a time traveling DeLorean and you drove into the distant past and you had to describe what this machine is. Future Horse. It's pretty. I don't know. It's not even clever. It's just a thing. But I like it. It's catchy.
It's an automatic carriage, but it's driven by a futuristic horse. It's funny you bring up Back to the Future, too, DeLorean. This is probably the best thing I saw this week. It's going to tie into my How Was Your Sunday question. Someone in Santa Clarita this past week actually got a speeding ticket for going 88 miles per hour in his DeLorean. The cop thought it was hilarious. I would have, too. You got to frame that fucking speeding ticket. He didn't travel through time. He definitely didn't do it in his future horse. But whatever your name is, sir, you made my dream come true. Just
And
saying.
he's going to be paying quite a hefty price for it.
Fuck, it's worth it just for the ticket, just
Like
to frame the ticket.
$250 or so.
To frame the ticket, man. I'd want it. Wouldn't you want that? Like, put it in your car. Matter of fact, get the try to get that to Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd and Robert Zemeckis. Get them to sign it, because I'm sure that happened a lot, like in the late 80s, early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
But now, out of the people that have DeLoreans, some of them drive them that fast. Well, if I had a DeLorean, I would
I
always
mean, just have
go.
a period.
I'd put it on 88 and press cruise control. Probably. Isn't that right?
Is
Am I
there
alone on
even
this?
such a thing as cruise control for a car made in the 80s?
Oh, yeah, sure. 80s cars definitely have
think-
cruise controls. Cruise controls existed in like the 60s. Like something like Cadillac
Yeah?
back then definitely probably had it, yeah. It's just
I
it's
think,
a
I think
luxury
it
thing.
sounds like a fun bit, Brian, but I don't think that I would ever actually do that because
would do it.
you know I mean I don't have the flux capacitor in the car. I
That's
know
true.
that it doesn't actually
could get
travel
one of
through
the-
time.
It's
know?
a
You could get one of the
chuckle-worthy
things-
news
like a
bit,
sticker?
but, you know.
It's a fun one. Like that's probably my favorite news bit that we've had probably since the Freddy Got Fingered one. The dude that got arrested for having late dues on his VHS copy of
And
Freddy Got Fingered.
unfortunately, that's what got me to watch the movie.
Hey,
so.
fuck it. Tom Green himself paid his bail, or paid off the late fee, paid his fine. Great story. Too bad you've already seen Back to the Future. We can't do it. Maybe we can watch like the Back to the Future TV show or something.
There's a TV show?
Yeah, it was an animated show. If you get the
Jeez.
special edition Blu-ray, it has it on there. It's Tyler, I'm sure you've seen it. It's like 25, 40
Yeah,
episodes.
I mean the thing is that you can just watch one episode online and be like,
You
oh,
got
I
it,
get
yeah.
it. I don't need to
It's
watch
the
any more of this. You
Adventures
don't need
of
to buy the
Jules and
special edition
Verne.
Blu-ray with that. Yeah,
It's the Adventures of Jules and Verne. That is the
It's not
show.
great.
It's basically Mr. Peabody and Sherman, but with
Yes.
a DeLorean.
Well, not the DeLorean. They use the train because this is
Well,
Doc
well,
Brown and Claire Clayton's kids, Jules and
Really?
Verne.
yeah, and they do have live action segments that I believe Christopher Lloyd actually came back for.
That's cool.
Right?
Christopher Lloyd did the voice acting for Lego Dimensions. I'm looking at him
Yeah.
right now. He's on my computer desk. He looks awesome with the DeLorean. Oh my god! If you want to find the rest of our content, you go on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WordPress, Tumblr, more places than Tyler. Because hey, you should take a note out of our book and do the same. Dollar reviews is how you'll find us. Our SEO, or search engine optimization for Debt to Cinema, used to be amazing. Now it isn't. It's very sad. We're still on the first page, but it wasn't like it used to be where we had all of the first page. Now you got to go a little bit deeper. If you want to listen to us directly, you don't want to go to dollarreviews.net. I think Twitter's still the best way to find us, or YouTube. You can go to Google Play Music, iTunes, Podcast, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, SoundCloud. You can subscribe to us. You can like us, retweets, comments. All that stuff is great. And the reason why you want to do that is because we have too much content. Not as much as Tyler, but we do it all the time. Every Sunday was this show. Every Wednesday we have Debt to Cinema. That's our semi-topical List of Shame show, where me and Steve, hopefully to tie it into something that's going on, see something that one of us has never seen. So this upcoming week is going to be the original reboot of The Mummy by Stephen Sommers, starring Brendan Fraser, among others. Really fun international movie that Steve's never seen. Well, he's seen it now, and you
I've
can
seen
hear
the
us.
sequels and the Scorpion King spin-off. It's literally the same deal with
It's like, I even watched
like,
the
what was it,
TV
Men in
animated
Black,
show,
where it's like I've seen everything
Yeah.
else but the original,
which is the
or the
weirdest
original
thing.
remake in this case.
So you can hear that conversation.
How did you watch Men in Black 2 and 3 and not
We have a Men
the
in-
original movie?
We have that episode for it. It's a weird conversation. I'm sure this
Just-
one will be too.
Yeah, just life happens. You know?
Life happens.
That sucks, man. I watched all 3 recently, and really that's the only one worth watching.
I
Yeah.
kind of like 3.
Two's okay.
Three's kind of
Three's
fun.
three's all right. I think two's okay.
You know, Josh Brolin doing his Tommy Lee Jones, I think
Is
is really good. Yeah,
It's good. That time travel, I'm a sucker for that, but it was okay.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff that in its recreation of the '60s. There, it's a fairly fun movie.
Some of the stuff that
But
we
yeah, the
Disagree
first one's
on all
the best.
accounts. Josh Brolin was fine. The whole movie is shit, though. Terrible.
well, you
I
didn't
like
like
Bill Hader's
the
cameo.
yeah. I was gonna say Bill Hader or
Bill Hader as Andy Warhol. Yeah, that's probably my favorite bit in there.
Jermaine Clement as the villain to a pseudo villain. He's
Yeah.
pretty good in that space
Hey,
scene.
3D was cool.
I didn't think. Maybe I'll see that in 3D in the future. Some of the things that we've done recently on Death to Cinema, though, we just did Wong Kar-wai's In the Mood for Love, which is a very interesting art house film that I had a pretty deep analysis, especially for Death to Cinema things, and Steve just thought was pretentious. We did Infernal Affairs, which is the original version of The Departed, 4 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days, because, hey, it was a Mother's Day, so let's watch something about abortion. The Tribe, which is just an amazing all silent film about a group of mute/deaf people. We'd buy that one for $1. Howard the Duck, because hey, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And if you haven't seen it, you're a Marvel fan. Maybe have you seen that one, Tyler?
Yeah, of course I have. Like I said,
The
opening
song
night,
is so
every
good.
stupid superhero.
No, I'm talking about Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck.
Oh, yeah, I have maybe seen Howard
You
the
would
Duck. I'm
know
not
if
quite
you'd
certain.
seen
Probably
it.
good to
Trust
leave it
me.
at that.
Okay.
No,
I mean, I might have seen it when I was
look
young.
up the
That's
clips on
thing.
YouTube. You
It's
want to
good to
I've
leave
see
seen
it there.
clips.
you
Yeah,
want to
I've
see
seen
the play
clips.
duck and you want to see the closing song. That is worth. Also, the villain. The villain's cool. We have a pretty good episode on that, though. Just how crazy it is that thing exists, and that's a George Lucas production, and it's basically an independent film through Universal.
I'll be fair and give it credit, but no, that's not a good movie. I mean, it does some cool things, but no, I'm not going to recommend it.
Yeah, Biodome's much better, and so is
Oh,
Wings,
fuck no.
Time Crimes, and so many other things
Wings,
we've done.
yes, but
Highlighted by Catwoman, which is probably my favorite thing we've ever not my favorite find from Debt to Cinema.
We
The
have no
Immaculate
shame.
Conception, the Halle Berry Catwoman, the first real DC heroine that kicks ass, directed by Pete Toph, whatever that means.
I don't know about first real. I mean, come on, it's very tongue in cheek. Like, you know, I said it earlier today. Like, I like that movie, but I get what that movie is, man. I'm not gonna hold down the same level as Wonder Woman at all.
I tell you what, Tyler, because you're actually the person that showed me the basketball scene first. I'd never seen anything. You should see this movie. I think it's on HBO Go. If it isn't, it's definitely on Netflix. I have a feeling you'll like it.
All right, I'll check
It's
it out.
fun in a trashy way. I mean, just, as long as you take it as such.
It's one of those, like, it's not a guilty pleasure because I liked it so much, but if you really want to know who I am, it's on the platter with, like, Biodome, It's like, check this out. Or better
It's way
yet,
better than Biodome.
up there with next week's Death Cinema Pick Road Trip. You're going to love that one, Steve.
Oh, man.
You're going to love it. I'm so happy I got that one on DVD.
That's Todd Phillips, right?
Yes, it is. It's his breakthrough. The other show we do, those dollar reviews, it's for recent reviews. As I said at the top, we just did one for Wonder Woman. We've done it for the rest of the DCEU also. Suicide Squad, which Tyler's on, and we do a dual review with Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Cut, the original Batman vs. Superman. There's so many things. Just this year alone, we've done Logan, lots of like streaming stuff. So I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore,
Power
The
Rangers.
Handmaiden, Power Rangers, Sandy Wexler, Camera Person. Oh man, so many things. We for how long we kind of took a sabbatical, we're coming back. We just did a Hologram for a King, also on Wonder Woman.
Well, that's on Wonder Woman, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we get around. We do stuff during award season. We do foreign things. We do documentaries. We see streaming if it's on Netflix or Amazon. We do superheroes. If I got some interest or Steve's got some interest, we try to match it up. Sometimes we meet each other halfway. I said you can find us all over the internet. But now's the fun part, like I said. How was your guys' Sunday? Let the internet get to know you a little bit better since not much happened this week. You can draw straws. Who goes first? Or your weekend if you want to be more grand. I can't see your
And by the
nose,
way,
so-
because no one can see, I'm touching my
Yeah.
nose, so I'm not going first.
Yeah, that's all right. I can go first. Steve, we
Yeah.
were talking a little bit before the show about dietary things. Since the
a good way to put
19th
it.
of April, since the 19th of April, I've been eating a lot better. Basically, going from like fast food 5 or 6 times a week to once a week, which is
Hey, that's a big
horrible.
improvement.
And eating a lot of a lot of brown rice, a lot of chicken, and it's really weighing me down lately. So today I decided to go out and get Wendy's, and
I wanted Wendy's. I wanted a Frosty so
Man.
bad earlier.
I feel like
Fuck.
shit. I had Wendy's and I had like 4 or 5 bowls of Frosted Flakes today, and I worked out a whole bunch. So like really today is like
Did you work out or
the
did
worst
you do
day of my
cardio?
life.
Was it
No, I
cardio?
did everything. I did I've been trying to do like 200 push-ups a day lately,
Nice.
and I went on a 3-mile run and I lifted a bunch, and it's just been like a real
Uphill battle.
ugh. Yeah, it's been something. I don't know.
What I recommend, if you have a scale, get rid of it, hide it, put it somewhere. Don't go based off of what a number says. Also, don't go off your reflection. When you feel good, when you're fitting your
Yeah.
clothes better, or maybe even better than
No,
that.
no,
When
no.
If
when
you have
feel
to
good
buy
and
new
you're moving,
clothes.
it all. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a-
see the problem there though is that if I'm feeling good, then I'll just say like, oh, okay, I can eat fast food again. I kind of at
No,
least
just
until
try-
I found a nice routine, like it'll take me about 3 months, then I can kind of do that. So far, I've lost 19 pounds. I'm trying to get that nice even 20. And like having abs wouldn't be a bad thing. I think at this point in my
It
life.
wouldn't be. As someone who's had them before, when you look at yourself in the mirror after you take a shower, you're like, yeah, I look good.
Yeah,
And it makes
I've
you
been
feel
like
good.
on the verge of that for a really long time. Like I have the muscle, I just have to like
Trim the fat. The secret,
yeah, I really have to maintain the
when
weight
you-
that I'm at right now and build muscle.
when you work out, don't wear like nice breathing, low cut stuff. Put on layers. Wear a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Wear sweatpants. Maybe like put a trash bag as a poncho around your body. Like wear leg weights when you
I
run. Like go the
I
extra
keep
mile.
seeing like those weird ass like
Vision
They're
Quest.
like, well, no, like I see every single time that I go to like Marshalls or something like these stupid ass like sauna suits that are basically just like a
Get
trash
it.
bag you put on. I'm
Get
like,
it?
no, there's no way I would ever, dude. I just
You
wanna
want
look
that
cool when
six
I'm
pack?
running around.
You're gonna go all the way.
I'm not gonna wear a fucking sauna.
You'll have a
suit to get
10
it,
pack.
man.
How about that? It'll be worth it.
Oh man, I'm 5'8". I don't need a 10-pack. I don't want to be like Milhouse in that future episode of The Simpsons where he's
I'm
like
so
totally
hot.
stacked and he's like disgusting. Yeah.
Oh, Simpsons. Why did I stop watching The Simpsons? Oh, because it's never
'cause
gonna
it's
end.
Not good anymore.
Well, no,
Yeah.
because it's never gonna end. That's the real reason. Like there's a
either
certain
way,
cutoff
I
date.
would say I did want to eat 15 White Castle burgers today, and I didn't do it, so I'm proud of myself for that.
Let's hear about someone who is. Congrats on the almost 20 though. As someone who I'm gonna tell you the hardest part about dieting, eating right, and exercising is just keeping it up. You get bored once you hit your goal. You go, I plateaued. It doesn't matter what happens now. Then you end up being fat and lazy again, and they go, I want to exercise, and you get too lazy. So just don't
and
push
that's the reason
yourself.
that I started doing the dieting
Fight
thing.
it.
I've been exercising consistently for 3 years. Like I did plateau, and now I'm doing something new to get there. So see how it works out. I don't know. Good results in the last month and a half. I've been enjoying it.
Good luck. Let's listen to someone who's having bad luck. How was your binge day?
Oh, not bad luck. I mean, it's for me though. My problem
For
is
your
the
colon.
exact. It's the
Bad
exact,
choices.
No, it's the exact opposite for me. I am getting just skinnier and skinnier. My metabolism rate is just fucking
You're working too
skyrocketed.
much,
I
man.
don't know how because. I was a bit bigger in college, and then all of a sudden I just started working a lot. But yeah, I've been working constantly lately. So I've had this weekend off. Yesterday, I mostly just slept, and then I went out at night. But today, I just decided to really do nothing, and so
Always feels
drinking.
good.
I've been drinking all day, and I went to there's a Walgreens by me. They had a deal on White Castle, so I just bought a crap ton. I've just been freaking pigging out on that. Brian, you told me like 6 hours ago. Oh yeah, you're gonna take like a deuce big time. Hasn't happened yet. So
I feel bad for you then.
Yeah, no, I'm actually I'm in general I'm fairly healthy. Probably my biggest problem is that well, for a while I would drink too much caffeine, and I got a better handle on that now. But yeah, today's my cheat day, and I've gone all out, and I've had let's see, right now I'm having some cider. I had 6 Shiners earlier. I've been having some whiskey. I've been
Partying.
yeah, like, I literally have not left my apartment today. Like that
I did the
doesn't
opposite
happen.
of that.
So I seriously I have not even stepped outside. So that's what kind of day today is.
Kotaku Day.
Yeah, I mean I've ridden a little bit, because I've been a little drunk and feeling inspired, so I'm like, yeah, why not? May as well be somewhat productive. But yeah, other than that, I've been lazy the whole day. I mean, I did
was
record a
the
podcast
opposite.
earlier today too, so
Yeah, the second today. Look at that.
yeah.
I've been the opposite of lazy today. I almost work every single Sunday. Obviously, doing this show and also Debt Cinema, generally speaking, today was dollar reviews. So, but I always work too, except today I didn't. It's my first Sunday off, and I don't even know how long, like 2.5 months or something like that. And as silly as it is, the coworker that I almost always work with decided to invite me to do plans. She was like, hey, you want to come? She asked me yesterday when I was helping her jumpstart her car because her battery died. And she ended up getting me dinner because she was so nice. I had King Taco. My colon loved it, and so did my mouth. And so she asked me, hey, you want to come to like Venice Beach, do the drum circle? I'm like, I don't know. I don't like the sand. I don't like Venice. I don't like going there. She's like, oh, my cute friend's going to be there. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
Brian, hearing you complain about being invited to do something that sounds honestly pretty fun to me. Like there's
Brian
one
doesn't
of those-
seem
here
to
where
like
I'm at.
going out.
It's one of
even if
these-
it's 20 minutes away, he's very conflicted about driving.
That's not the case.
I mean, I do understand it. I'm just saying, at this point in my life, I would love to go out to Venice Beach and do a drum circle. What was it you said?
I think that's because you've never been to Venice Beach and or done the drum circle. But
yeah,
if you
the
have,
traffic,
probably, yeah.
just to get there from where you are, like
Pretty
even though
lame.
It's not that far distance.
it's not that far. It's like
but
40 minutes.
It's longer than it should be.
It's much longer than it should be. But it was really just, I don't like sand. I don't like getting to the beach and it's cold. I don't like parking at
Yeah, I'm
Venice
not a
because it's
fan of the
pricey.
beach.
Just a lot of different things. But what ended up happening is, even though I told her exactly what was wrong with her car yesterday, I was like, oh yeah, your battery connector's corroded. You just need another one. It's like $2 at O'Reilly's. She didn't listen to me, so when her and the friend that I was meeting went to like a shopping center while waiting for me, since I was delayed in recording dollar reviews, her car wouldn't start in the parking lot. So I ended up not meeting her at her house, meeting her there, and they wanted to go to Venice still, but then I started thinking of a couple things, like, oh, the freeway situation, how little gas I had, like maybe my car could blow up on the freeway again, these little things when I was on the 101. And
Has
so
that happened since that day?
no. Well, yes,
Okay.
but it was a different issue. What the fuck happened that time? Oh, it was a vacuum, not a vacuum hose, just a hose that coolant came from got disconnected, so it wasn't going to my engine. Old car they just have issues. That was when I saw
I'm
La
just
La
lucky I
Land,
still
by the
had
way.
a AAA trip on that.
Yeah. What I ended up doing, though, instead was taking her friend Erica all through Long Beach. She'd never been. As a big proponent for the city that I live in, I'm actually wearing my Joe Jost t-shirt. It's the oldest bar in Long Beach, established in 1924. You see a lot of people wearing them. I saw like 3 of them yesterday, which was kind of uncanny. So I felt like I had to wear mine today. And I just basically gave them a driving tour of my city. We took the 110 to Vincent Thomas Bridge. There was a freeway detour, so we had to like drive through the Port of LA's berths, which was fun, but not really. Ended up going like past where I live and work to the Virginia Country Club, which is where you took me the one time, Steve, when we came back from seeing The Walk. We didn't find the Ferris Bueller house because I wasn't looking for it, but that's the idea here. That's how fancy these houses and or mansions are. It's that kind of town. Took them to Signal Hill to like the park top, and we were there for sunset, which was cool. Drove through Long Beach State, Marina Pacifica, 2nd Street, Ocean Boulevard. Told them about the Long Beach Breakwater. I was like, hey, I got a documentary about that. You guys will see it soon. And then like also Broadway's Gayborhood, which just had Pride a week ago. So like I'd say like 40% of the city. I drove through the traffic circle. I did like a quick let me drive everywhere. My speedometer broke again, even though I just fixed it 2 days ago, so I'll have to fix that tomorrow. Yay. But I'd say I probably drove somewhere around like, I don't know, 80 miles, 100 miles, which was fun. I've been driving a lot lately, seen Wonder Woman twice in the same weekend. First one might have been in Long Beach, but yesterday I drove to Torrance, excuse me. So it feels good to drive again. Got oil change the other day. I find, like, if I'm listening to the right music, especially, just driving, it's therapeutic for me. I like the feeling of it.
Yeah.
Driving video games, not so much, but, hell, who knows? Maybe in VR. But it sounds like...
I don't think it'll be the same, man.
It sounds like we all had good weekends. Let's talk about the week that followed up to it. We'll start with a little bit of follow-up, something we haven't talked about on the show because why would we? But Nintendo, they have delayed their online service. It's coming next year now instead of later this one. It's going to cost $20 a year, which is very cheap when you could price that up against PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold, what Microsoft and Sony offer for their video game systems. It's 20 versus their 60, so a good deal. The difference is that, hey, it doesn't have an established network, which Sony and Xbox have had for over a decade. Xbox is actually closer to like 15 years. That's crazy to think about. It's not going to do what they originally said they were, where you get a monthly download that you could only play for that month, which is kind of sketchy. But like the catch was like, oh yeah, it's going to be like Street Fighter 2, except it'll have online functionality, or it'll be like Super Mario Brothers 3 and you play online. What they're doing instead is they're going to have that nostalgic service as a Netflix feature, basically, where you can just play these games. I don't know if you're going to download them or if you're going to stream them. You're probably going to download them just because the Switch is a handheld first system, where it's supposed to be. And so then it would kind of compete with Xbox Live's Game Pass, which just came out, which allows you to download like up to 100 titles, I think it is, and actually have them on your system and play them without actually paying them a la carte. You have a monthly fee, which is similar to Sony's, which is streaming only, called, what is it? PlayStation Now. Which emulates PS3 games now. It's going to add PS4 later this year. And eventually, I would have to imagine, is going to offer games across their entire video game library. So gaming's catching up with movies and TV. It is a la carte. You can get a subscription model. Hopefully Nintendo's is good, even if I am not a fan of the Switch, even though I haven't used one. But yeah, good on them for actually listening to their fans for once and actually doing something kind of smart. I think the delay's worth it in this case. It's still really stupid, though. If you want to talk to people who are playing Switch games with you, you have to do it through your cell phone. And then they even have this headset coming out in the next couple of weeks that it's a dongle that goes from your system to your phone, and then the headset connects from your phone to you. So you're going to be carrying around like an octopus, which sounds like the most counterintuitive way. How about on this thing that has a touchscreen and a mic and speakers that you can just talk to people over it? But that wouldn't be Nintendo. That wouldn't be them. You got any interest in Nintendo Switch, Tyler? Have you seen one? Have you read about it? Have you seen one in the flesh? Is this your kind of thing? Are you into the Mario?
If I saw one sitting on the side of the road, I would take it home and adopt it. I would play it all the time, but really, honestly, I don't care to buy a brand new video game system right now. Really, I mean, I watch a lot of movies and animation and stuff like that. There's too much going on with work and trying to exercise and maintain a life to really play that many video games right now.
See, my thing when I exercise is I like jumping on a bike machine and riding for about an hour, maybe a little bit more. Usually do like 17 miles or something.
You got a bike
not 17,
machine?
not in my house, but nearby. I used to have one in my house, and it broke. Fucking sucked. And so generally when I'm on one of those, I have my phone out, and I'm reading Twitter, or I'm doing the Pocket News and summarizing it for this show, or maybe I'm working on 2 cents. Maybe I'm texting someone. But I have, on occasion, brought like a handheld video game system, which is kind of awesome. Like, you're sitting there for a long period of time, like an hour in my case, and you just do a little thing on the side for a little bit with your hands, and it maybe not takes your mind off of what you're doing, but it does make it a little bit more fun. So maybe a Switch would be good for that if you turn into like doing elliptical or well, maybe not treadmill, but yeah, like the bike machines like I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of go hard when I'm in the gym. Me particularly. I mean, I have been playing a lot of emulators lately, and that's always fun. But yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about picking up a 3DS maybe or something like that because I am into Pokemon games still a lot.
You might want to get if you want 3D functionality, and on the 3DS it is awesome. You can go open the web browser, go to youtube.com, and watch 3D videos without 3D glasses, which is awesome.
Sure.
The resolution is not so great, so you're not going to be blown away. But they have a 2DS XL coming out next month, which is going to be like $170, and it's basically a 3DS, except it doesn't have 3D.
Yeah, I saw
and it's a
that.
little bit cheaper. So if you want 3D though,
Yeah,
get the 3DS.
It'd be like $15 cheaper, I think. I mean,
It's a little
I
bit
guess,
more than that. It's like
really,
$35.
because it's like $190 for a 3DS right now on Amazon.
You don't get a charger
lot.
though, and that's like $15, which is stupid as shit.
Sure.
And so that alone, plus the price drop on the 2DS, and the battery life is going to be better because it doesn't have a 3D toggle. But it's the same form factor. I almost bought a 3DS myself this past Black Friday because I could have got one for $100. It was like a doorbuster deal. Probably should have done it, but
and
you know.
and I guess the thing is the threshold for me to be playing Pokemon this week, if I wanted to, a brand new Pokemon game, would be about like $220 or something like that for the console and the game. Like, if I just get an emulator, I'm just playing it 5 minutes from now, and it's free.
I'm not going to tell you,
you know,
to do this, but you can if you want. You could go to a GameStop, kind of like a Garden State situation. You could go to a GameStop, buy a pre-owned 3DS and a pre-owned copy of Sun, Moon, XY, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. Name your poison. As long as all of the stuff you buy is pre-owned, you can return it for your full money value within 7 days. You pay with a credit card, hey, you didn't actually lose any money. 7 days, which is pretty good. So if you just want to try the new Pokemon to see what you're missing out on, I reckon you can. I mean, you're going to get it out the door. You're not going to keep it, so it doesn't really matter. But for about like $230, so not so bad. You know, just as like a test run, like a rent-a-center for cheapos. And they won't really mind either at the GameStop probably. Or so I've heard. But yeah, there are cheaper ways to do things. The last little follow-up we got, though, before we do our Do You Want to Know More section, because it is a shorter week, is after 17 years, Terry Gilliam has finally done it. He finished shooting his Don Quixote film that is never coming out, or maybe it will. We'll find out how the production works now.
He missed his deadline. It was supposed to come out this month, wasn't it?
No, he said by...
Yeah, screen it at Cannes.
Did he say... Oh, yeah, it was Cannes. Whatever, finished filming by Cannes. That's pretty good still.
Yeah, it's better, but he's still... yeah, I mean... Well, it's amazing that it got made, at the very least.
Or that it's being made. It's not done yet.
Well, it's almost
Not done yet. I hope this is
shooting it, so that's practically made. You just got to put it together.
Adam Driver might be the reason people will see this. Wait, he's the star, yeah, isn't he? I want to say yes.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I believe he's gonna.
hey, that's a big enough poll anyway.
If it's not him, it's someone of equal measure, like someone who's really hot right now.
Mm-hmm.
Terry Gilliam. When's the last time he did it? I know he did the Zero Theorem, which I still want to see. It's on Amazon Prime. Or
Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
That was like his last big one, yeah. And people only really saw that because Heath Ledger died.
Yeah.
That movie was a mess.
I mean, it had other stars that people liked in it,
well,
right?
the
Garfield
stars
was in it, but it was before he was...
his role is actually really good, but the pull on that film was Heath Ledger didn't finish filming all of his material, so they got Johnny Depp, Jude Law, and...
Colin Farrell.
Was it Colin Farrell? To do his roles, and they're like, it's in the Imaginarium, so it makes sense. He's not always the same dude.
Right. There's also Tom Waits in there, I think, for a bit.
Yeah, Tom Waits. Well, he's in a lot of Terry Gilliam stuff. He's in, what's the one with the dragon?
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Nah, well, he's not.
Was
He's
it
definitely
Brothers
not that.
Grimm you're thinking of?
Brazil. I don't know.
No, I'm thinking of the one with Robin Williams.
No. The
Fisher King.
Life of Brian.
No, Fisher King.
No, wait, there's a dragon in that?
Well, that's like part of the story. There's not an actual dragon. It's like a
Okay, yeah, like I
hallucination.
saw it a couple of years ago. I remember I really liked it. I think I talked about it on here, but
Like Robin Williams, as a crazy guy, thinks that this tower is a castle and there's a dragon in there, and it's kind of like
yeah, Jeff
a Don
Bridges is in that,
Quixote.
right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a
Yeah.
Don Quixote, like, oh, the windmills are fucking dragons or whatever they are in that. It's a similar thing. It's kind of like a tie to that. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make it eventually, tilting like windmills. But yeah, I think if I remember the story correctly, Jeff Bridges is like a shock jock, like Howard Stern type character, and
Yeah.
he crossed paths with this
He's responsible for fucking up Robin Williams' life.
basically like he
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. But here's Do You Want to Know More? It is a very short one, but these, as I said at the top of the show, are actually really interesting. I'm sure neither of you heard about them, and hopefully we had a conversation out of one or both. Um, if anyone's listened to the show for most of its run, one of the big things besides Internet of Things that we've done is virtual reality. When we started the show, it was still basically in its common infancy, and now it's on the peak of being mainstream accepted. And lots of industries have come into it. Video gaming being the most prolific. We have more feature length or documentary or short films from the likes
Mm-hmm.
of Inarritu
Inarritu.
to, like I said, Spielberg's working on it. Ridley Scott's done it. Michael Stromberg's done it. We got Jon Favreau that's done it. They did it for Ghostbusters at the Void. Like there's so many different ways. They had a John Wick like promotional thing. So many passengers. I can just keep going and going. One of the ways that VR took off first and why it was a success and why it's going to always be a thing alongside augmented reality and mixed reality at all is job training, though. There's a great game by Alchemy Labs, now a subsidiary of Google, called Job Simulator, which is a total joke and it's not for everyone. It's like, oh, I want to be a convenience clerk. I want to work in an office building in a cubicle. I want to be a mechanic. I want to be this. And it's tongue-in-cheek and it's not serious. However, what it does properly is it allows you to embody this workplace environment and kind of throw things at you, kind of like a driving simulator. And so Walmart, maybe they already started or it's about to happen, but it's definitely going to gear up to later this year, now is using Oculus Rift's headsets to train employees in Black Friday or dangerous spill simulations. It's currently only available at one of 200 Walmart Academy training centers around the globe. And associates that aren't in VR will watch the flat screen feed and to learn the same things in real time. The cool thing here is that it's going to use machine learning to actually track where you're looking. So associates, if they're not noticing the spill, they can play back the footage. Why didn't you see the spill on the ground? Like, someone could have got hurt type of thing. And so you're going to live the situation. You have, like, very minimal button presses.
How
And then
do
you're going to have to
you
answer, like, a
train
questionnaire.
for Black Friday? Like, I don't know. There should be some sensory function
Well,
at least for
what
getting
I can
trampled over.
imagine, just in terms of doing Job Simulator and actually having worked Black Friday twice now,
Yeah, but not at Walmart. I mean, come on.
Well,
It's not. It wasn't.
maybe
that
not,
insane for
but
you, was
retail
it?
Black Friday is retail Black Friday. I would think that the simulation would be if you're like a cashier and you have a very, very long line. How flustered do you get? Are you getting nervous because this person's making a fuss? I don't think it's gonna be stalker. You know, like this isn't like high intensity VR with locomotion. This is standing still, Oculus. Let me look here so it seems like I'm there type of thing. I would have to imagine that most of the people that are doing this simulation have either never done VR, or what they've done is very limited, or maybe they have a Gear VR and they watch like Pornhub all the time. I don't know their lives. But I do think that this is really cool just because, you know, it's Walmart and that's a big corporation and that they're embracing VR in a way that mostly has been kind of only for like aerospace and medical, among other things. Like it is pretty secluded just because of the install base. Like I said, there's only 200 of these centers globally. I have to imagine most of them are actually going to be in America. And if you look at the size of our country and how many Walmarts there are out there, that's not nearly enough for every person. I don't think that every associate for Walmart's going to be able to do this, but I hope they can. And when it becomes cost effective enough that they can just get like a VR headset to rent from work, do it at home, and they just like basically do homework. Like they track their progress and submit it to their supervisors or whatever. But what do you guys think about this? How weird or kooky or awesome do you think this is? Do you think this is like a waste of virtual reality? Do you think Oculus is going to make a ton of money off of this, and maybe
Not
the
a
people that are
waste.
doing this are going to buy a headset?
It's a natural step forward. It's just, you know, because it's Walmart. I'm still kind of laughing at that just a little bit, but At the same time, though, like, yeah, it does make sense, like, to simulate a job for when, even though I don't think Walmart's really a high stress environment, but something like Black Friday for when they're really busy, yeah, to get someone prepared for that. It might be at least a good method. Of course, there's no substitute for actual experience, but
Just like sex toys.
you know, I don't know who knows how the stuff is actually going to be, if it's actually pretty good or not, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely a very real step into the future. Like, I absolutely can buy into that.
And Tyler, you got anything? You can, of course, pass.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much of an opinion on VR stuff at all. I haven't ever used any kind of Oculus Rift or anything like that. So really, I mean, I'm not going to be a
Still a
first
VR
adapter
virgin?
on stuff like that.
It's Virgin. Virigin.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll jump on when it's a widespread thing. But like, I'm really not going to be a first adopter.
It is widespread
It
already.
kind of is already.
Yeah, you're not going to be a
though,
first adopter.
because I don't know
It's too
anybody.
late.
I don't know a single person out of all of my friends that are all in
Me.
their early 20s. None of these people own it. Nobody has used it. Like, it's not super popular, you guys. I'm sorry.
It's not
Like,
mainstream, but it is, like I said, it's at the cusp of that. It's at the point now where the technology is cheap enough and it is prevalent enough that you can go to your local Best Buy or GameStop or fucking buy it on Amazon. You can get Google Cardboard for very, very cheap, and that's just the beginning of what's possible. You can go to like Toys R Us and get the whatchamacallit, the Viewmaster, which is an even better version of cardboard. The price points start at
Right,
like
but that's
$5
just
and it
the
goes up
equivalent
to
of
like
having-
700.
I mean, but that's just the equivalent of having like a Texas Instruments calculator and saying this is my personal computer. Like, it's not.
It really isn't. No.
What
Mm-mm.
Oculus Rift is. I know because I
Oculus-
have one of those dumbass headsets and I
No,
played around with it for 15 minutes.
It
And I
is
was
You're
like, that's
interesting
fine,
subject-
to me,
whatever.
though. Just, I mean, because like I'm sort of 50-50 as far as like having a circle of friends of people like Brian who are, there's people that are actually, I think, are more into it than you because you don't engage in it that much, Brian. But yeah, like there's people that I know that are really into it, and some people that just don't exactly care. And for those that are into it, like, yeah, like they've embraced it already. I don't think they're going to let it go anytime soon. So as far as I'm concerned, it's here to stay. But it's I don't know. It's weird because I don't even know how to define what the experience is like using it, because I feel like there's people that are still really clinging on to those hyperbolic statements of like, oh, it's so immersive, it feels like you're actually there. And
Sometimes
I don't
it
know,
does.
maybe for which yeah, for you I guess it could be, but I don't know, maybe for me it's like I think it's cool, but I'm just not as connected to it in that sense. Like I've done it about 3 times now, I think, including that one time at your place during Christmas. But I mean, yeah, it's really just something that to me that's like really fun, but I've never been lost in it, So I don't know if I don't know. It's interesting though, just I guess as far as how the appeal is working right now. But yeah, there's just also the people that I know that are dismissive of it are just kind of dismissive of anything that they think is supposed to be the next big thing, or maybe they're just really cautious in that sense. But
The Texas
yeah,
Instruments.
it's a weird thing, man.
The Texas Instruments supercomputer analogy doesn't work because what Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, PlayStation VR, what these dedicated systems are used for are for gaming. And you're not going to do that on your phone. You can, but that's not the point of mobile VR. Like, it has its own term. If you're doing a headset that is attached to your smartphone, of course your experience is going to be contingent on what kind of phone you have, its specs, how high the resolution on the phone, how good the tracking is, what kind of mobile provider you have, all these different variables. However, if you're doing, for instance, you want to take pictures on your phone with either a 360 camera, or even if you're using the cardboard camera app, it's going to look pretty damn good. At least it does on my phone. I do have, nowadays, I guess it would be considered like mid-high tier phone, and if I'm watching live action content, it looks better on my phone. Even animation, it looks better on my phone in cardboard, or actually the thing I have now is a Utopia 360, because it has a head strap, and when you're jerking off, having one hand free is a lot better than having no hands free. I got that backwards. 2 hands is better than having one. But if I'm playing games, yes, of course, my PlayStation can outcompete. It is in many ways a very powerful computer. It's better than my laptop. I'm pretty sure it's both better than both your guys' computer, unless you have a really powerful rig over there, Tyler, for all your podcasting needs. On your phone, though, I'm telling you, if you have something good, like not mid tier, if you didn't buy a budget phone when you got it, if it's more than 2 years old, you're probably going to need to upgrade to get the experience. It's as good as it gets. You're just not going to be. You're not going to have interactive experiences. They're going to be passive. You're going to be watching movies. Maybe you'll be able to do a roller coaster simulator. Perhaps I know there's a couple shooting games. You can get a beer goggles app. There is a good amount of stuff that I have on my phone between Discovery VR, the New York Times, the North Face, John and Within, what you can watch on YouTube. If you get more dedicated apps, maybe you want to be a pirate like I have in the past. Down those stereoscopic 3D files side by side or even over under. You can watch them in players. You can get an app that allows you to play be basically in a Game Boy simulator. It's an emulator, but it's in VR, so it looks like you're actually on the toilet playing your Game Boy, and that has mobile Bluetooth support, so you can actually have a controller in your hands. But when you compare that, to something like Farpoint or Where Was Within or Resident Evil 7 or Riggs or even doing Onward or Superhot, if you're looking at a top tier AAA or even a AA video game, no, it's not comparable. Yeah, it is a calculator. But I find, especially for first timers, that a Google Cardboard headset is what you want to do, because it can be a trip. You could freak out if you're susceptible, especially to motion sickness. You might have a hard time. But just kind of.
It really depends on the person.
It depends on the person, what kind of things you're into. If you, for instance, love reality TV or better in that documentaries, VR is the next step of that, because it really takes you there. You can go to Google Earth or Google Maps and literally be transported to a national park or a busy city street, and it's like you're actually
That's
there.
What I would want to use it for, honestly.
I can just imagine
Instead
being
of,
in your car.
Yeah.
Being in your Tesla, in your automated car, it's driving you where you're going to go just because you said drive. And you are wearing the VR headset perhaps to, find out what the restaurant you're looking for looks like before you get there so you're not lost. Or perhaps going to, a changing room and seeing what the dress potentially could look like on you before you actually try it on to save yourself the time. Like something that Amazon's doing with their Look smart camera. It's a tool that we're going to use, not the future of video gaming, not the future of movies. It is going to be something that runs parallel, a different stream for media, a new medium with its own rules and news and advertising. VR advertising is going to be the big thing.
It's kind of the new version of the computer in that, we use the computer for multiple things. It's part of its entertainment, part of its work, part of its gaming. It can be, it's many things.
It's like the future of the smartphone.
Yeah, it's not like the computer's going to die off. But just like the smartphone, you can use that also for many things. It's not limited.
It's more, I would say, the evolution of the smartphone, or if you're doing video games, of video gaming technology. Because
but I think the smartphone is
just given
that
that
there isn't really that mobility aspect. It's still a helmet that you got to carry around with you. It's not like you can put it in your pocket as easily.
Well, I'm saying in terms of actually being a mobile headset, you do. You can take it with you. I've taken my Google Cardboard places. When I saw episode 7. Well, you don't.
But then again,
you don't
that
even
is
need
your phone.
Wi-Fi. When we saw episode 7, when we were waiting, I brought my cardboard with us so I could do the Google Cardboard Star Wars stuff, which was a fun let's go to the Millennium Falcon. Let's be
still,
on
that is
Jakku.
technically your phone, though.
It is my phone, but I just think in the ways that a phone is first and foremost a communication device, but then it's an information tool. It is the internet in your pocket. It could be used for gaming, even if it's not that great. That it's kind of like a Swiss Army knife of technology in the modern era. That virtual reality is going to try to piggyback on that, and so is AR, and so is MR, and all of these technologies are going to try to compete not with each other, but with how we already ingest the media. It's going to want to. You can get this thing from HTC that's only available in Asia. I think Taiwan perhaps only currently, where it's literally like a newspaper that you read in virtual reality, but you have an augmented. It's mixed, because in your hands you have a real tangible item, and in VR you're seeing it a certain way that just in the same way that these people, these Walmart associates, are going to be learning without actually having to be learning, like thrown into Lion's Den, seeing how crazy these people are on VR or on Black Friday, or with like this spill on aisle 12, that they could also at the same time, play like a fun game or be shooting clowns or shooting spiders on Mars or whatever the fuck they're doing. If you got any interest in this, guys, by the way, twitch.tv/cstrife991. That's CSTRIFE 991. Also, I put a lot of the content on YouTube for dollar reviews, and that's youtube.com/dollar review, not S at the end of it, or dollar reviews, not dollars, no S in the middle, rather. You can see my VR gameplay, and I do live streams, and I do commentary on them on occasion. That it's like you said, Steve, I'm not gung-ho about it. I love the technology. I love the news. I love tracking it. But I only use my headset maybe once a week, every other week.
There's people that are far more obsessed than you are. Like,
as a way to...
In a downright obnoxious way.
Oh, yeah.
Name names, but...
As a way to... kind of champion my investment, I actually bought a dock, like a charging stand / dock for my VR headset that I'm looking at right here. That way, every time I'm walking in and out of my room, or I'm sitting in my bed or at my computer desk or whatever, I can see it and I'm reminded, versus how it used to be literally in like a drawer hidden away because I didn't want the sunlight or dust to touch it. Now it's a present reminder. Hey, maybe you should use this sometime. Maybe you should watch another 3D Blu-ray because you've only seen 1.5 of those. I should do Tron Legacy soon.
Have you even tested that yet? Or
not on Legacy, no. I tested it on Dread 3D. I watched all of Step Up 3D. I saw a majority of the Lego Movie. I watched half of Gravity on my phone the other night. I fell asleep because, hey, that movie's boring.
Whoa.
If you've seen it before.
No, not at all.
If you've seen it before.
Yeah, I've seen it like probably 5 times. I don't know. I saw it quite a few times theatrically.
I just went, I'm good. I'm gonna...
All right, to each their own.
I think you should... maybe I'll send you a Google... Well, the question really is, like, what's your phone like, Tyler? Like, how old is your model? Like, what's the specs on this thing? You said it's a 4-inch screen.
I've got a Galaxy S7 Edge right now.
Get a Galaxy Gear VR.
I have the stupid big plastic headset. That's what I was saying.
You have the best of the best mobile. That is the best.
I'm sure, dude. I fucked around with it for like 8 hours, and I was like, well, it wasn't even that. It was like 2 or 3, and then I was like, well, that's all the stupid shit I wanted to do with it. I rode a stupid roller coaster. I hung out in space for a little while. I fucking jerked off or whatever. Like it doesn't. There's nothing else to do, man.
You need to find the right things. You can watch. I haven't done it yet on YouTube. If you have the YouTube app, you can see a Lego Batman tour the Batcave.
I just don't like watching movies and videos on my phone, man. Like, I only watch that stuff on like a screen, and I know that it looks like a screen, but it's not.
My thing with
it's
VR
different.
is like it sounds just to me more ideal in like an interactive sense. Like for me, gaming is where the main selling point for me is going to be.
That's why gaming's at the forefront of the adoption currently.
That and just Google VR if I want to look around at some place that I'm not like if I want to look around back home because. Hey, yeah, sometimes I do miss home. I'm like a whole continent away, so I like looking around.
I guarantee.
Like
mark my words. Within 5 years, we're gonna be at a place where we would not be doing this podcast. Well, if we all had VR headsets, we would not be doing this podcast over Skype. We would be in VR together, recording that way.
In a whole virtual space.
That way, it actually feels like we're together. We can watch each other's eye lines. You can see the lip flap. You can do gestures. You can walk around. Maybe there's a book on the table, and we want to point at it for an actual example. Like, look at this VR, and there's an actual article on the table in front of us that you guys can read while I'm telling you about this Walmart thing. That's going to be possible.
That could be like a cool gimmick, but like the thing is that we all thought like in the 1960s that, when video technology becomes a thing, like every single time you call your mom, you're going to video call her. And like
a lot of people
video chatted
FaceTime
with anybody in like a year and a half. I know that people FaceTime, but it's not as big of a deal as it was going to be.
The difference,
it's
though,
it's not as big of a deal as we thought it was going to be. Like I could FaceTime anybody and I don't do it.
VR interpersonal interactions are completely different from doing FaceTime or Skype. It doesn't seem foreign.
No, I understand.
And this is the reason. When you're doing Skype, you're
so
sitting in your room. you're in front of your computer. You can only see what they want you to see. They can only see what you want them to see. You could be scratching your nuts and they don't know. In the only I've done 2 VR things thus far that have transported me to a different dimension where I'm with people and interacting. I felt like this is the future. One of those being Sports Bar VR, which is cheap and shitty and whatever. And I just got it was my first taste. I had dance in VR with a stranger. The second of which being Ubisoft's World Within, which they've actually just one-upped this past week with Star Trek Bridge Crew, which is set in the J.J. Abrams universe. You are a team of 4 people on a USS Enterprise or Starfleet ship, and you each have various roles between captain and this and that and this, and they all play differently, and you have to talk to each other to get through your missions or to play, like, I don't even fucking know. I'll get it eventually. It's $50. I'll wait for a sale. Maybe I'll get it when it's 30. But whereas within, you're sitting in a circle surrounded by strangers, or maybe you know them because you played with them, and you can see where they're looking. You can tell when they're talking because their mouth is moving. If they lift their hands are lifted. If you stand up and you literally talk over people. If you want to whisper, you're whispering. And if you're looking across the way at someone for too long, they look at you and they'll say something like, "What the fuck's your problem, dude?" Because you feel like you're being stared at. You are transported to this magical realm where this possibility of someone amongst you being a werewolf is justified. And it doesn't feel like you're wearing this hat and you're in this place that isn't real. It feels like you are in a virtual reality. At least this one thing. And it's not the only time I felt this, but every time I play it, I do feel this, where the idea of this kind of boring card game is sold so fucking well that the first time I took it off when I took a break, I had like a jacking out of the Matrix fucking feel where I was like, wait, which one is the real world? Even though I was in a cartoon version of like Transylvania, okay? It still was scary. And I would love to
I'm
do
still waiting for that.
Sansar or Meta World or one of the many social MMO VR experiences that are currently in the works and in beta. One of which being something that you have access to, Tyler, or you should very soon, which is Oculus Spaces or Facebook Spaces, whatever the fuck it's called, which is Oculus exclusive currently, but is going to go wide everywhere. Where there is no game, it is just you hanging out and watching YouTube videos and your virtual living room with your friends. It's not FaceTiming. It is much more personal. Like it feels social. I think the reason is that you don't feel alone in the way that if you call someone or you're podcasting like this or whatever, you're not just listening to each other's voices. You're sitting where you are with your eyes open, looking around your room, looking at knickknacks and doodads, maybe looking on your phone, maybe picking your nose. You know you're not actually here with us. Even the listeners right now, despite us filling their eardrums, they're not with us. They're listening to us. Whereas if they were watching a recording of this in VR, which you can do, they had a wedding done in VR. There's lots of stand-up comedies by like Reggie Watts, among others. I'm sure like Hannibal Buress even might have done a VR gig. It's going to become more and more prevalent. That it's going to probably, like I said, in 5 years, Tyler, you're going to be like, yeah, I can't believe why I didn't understand the appeal. This changes everything.
I totally understand that. And like I said, when it's mainstream, when it's so available that I can fuck around with it without having to buy a system myself, like
I said, you don't.
Yeah,
you have
I'll
the system.
definitely be fine with that.
This thing, it'll pick up, but it'll be kind of like the smartphone in the sense where like I don't think that wow factor will be there. It'll just be so normalized to a point where we'll just be using it. That's really it.
It's also going to be the same way for people that aren't into video games or aren't into talking over Skype or FaceTime, in that they don't like the artificiality of it. Like the hippies out there, that they want to connect to the earth, that they don't want to have a distraction and kind of have this this opiate to escape from our shitty society and shitty world, that they want to live in it and fix it instead. They're going to be detractors that are seeing it as kind of like I said, like an opiate. Like it's going to be just something to soothe you, like the ultimate entertainment escapism, that there's going to be probably like maybe not a political party, but yeah, like some kind of society that's anti-VR because they're so scared of how it's going to change the world.
I know people that are already just kind of against it and kind of hate the idea, and they kind of react to it as if it's literally like you're plugging yourself into the Matrix, like as
It
if
almost is.
like conspiracy theorists that are just kind of like, like, oh, I don't want to upload my brain into a server, shit like that.
Like there's a short called Uncanny Valley. I think it's like 8 or 9 minutes long. It's not too bad, and it is very much so a dystopian VR experience. Well, not experience, but movie. Ready Player One is gonna be the opposite of that. It's gonna like fully champion virtual reality, and by the time that comes in March, we're gonna be at a point where VR is just gonna be. That's gonna be a year since. No, that's gonna be 2 years since Oculus came out. That's gonna be a year and a half since PSVR came out. Google Cardboard by that point will be out for like 4 or 5 years. It's that's going to be the movie that I think people are going to go like next holiday season. People are just going to want everything VR. I imagine that it's going to be the breaking point. I would think that Warner Brothers especially is hoping that it's going to be a movie that just lights the world on storm, and they can sell their Ready Player One branded VR headsets or whatever they're going to do. I'm sure
It has
they
the
will.
potential there, but I mean, of course, we'll see. It's it really depends. The movie could be something or it could be nothing.
I'll see it opening night.
I know you will.
I'll probably invest in a VR headset somehow so I can do the tie-in experiences. Like, it's gonna be interesting. Here's the other thing that's really cool, though. Both of you are familiar with Twitch, yes? The Amazon's live streaming service.
Right.
You can watch Mr. Rogers, Bob Ross. You can watch people play video games live. There's talk shows, food shows, cooking shows, talk shows. I already said that one. You can do IRL where you just watch people doing whatever. There's social eating. There's really anything you can think of on there. Something that just happened a couple of days ago, and this is following kind of in the shadow of Twitch Plays Pokemon, even though that's something that happened so long ago. That's actually, I discovered Twitch. This engineer that works for Amazon, Mike Roberts, just put his $50,000 life savings on Twitch on a channel called Stock Stream, which allows users in Twitch Play Pokemon fashion to chat what he should do with his money. This is a literal stock market simulator. The only stipulation here is if his savings drop below $250,000 that he's going to pull out, and he's going to be able to use as a tax
How much
write-off.
did he put up exactly?
$50,000. So a good amount of money.
It's a lot to
Yes.
be willing to lose.
Well, he's seen it as a social experiment. He works for Amazon. I'm sure Amazon's going to give him some kind of kickback regardless. And this is Twitch. He didn't do it on like Microsoft's Beam, or Mixer, or YouTube Live, or or Facebook. This is on Twitch. So far, I haven't actually seen the channel. Maybe I'll check it out later. I heard that everyone's taking it seriously, though. I think I read this on Kotaku, or maybe it was on The Verge. But they have like a Discord that they're talking through. They're actually researching and trying to figure it out. There's not just people like, buy this, buy that. Like, I doubt that they're going to go for the big ones. They're not trying to buy Amazon or Apple or Starbucks stock, They want like the penny tickers. They want the small stocks that are going to climb. But this is just a cool social experiment. I'm not sure how long it's going to go. Maybe it's going to be forgotten completely besides this episode on a podcast that, is at the end of its run. But in the hierarchy of Twitch things, the way that Twitch is important, and given that not only do I Twitch stream, but hey, I might have a screenplay in the works about Twitch, I think that this is a cool stepping stone for just what's possible in an interactive way. Like, maybe it's going to take given that I've streamed games in VR, and when you watch that back, you see it on a flat image where it looks kind of weird. Maybe it's going to take until you can literally stream Twitch Play in your VR headset from someone's VR. That might make you sick too, though, since you wouldn't be able, when you're turning your head, it would be stationary. I don't know. They'll figure out something. But I don't know. There's just something interesting about this. Like, I'm sure it's the most boring Twitch stream to watch, but there's an interesting thesis here. Like, someone that's studying business administration or wants to be like a stockbroker in college could write a thesis about this. You could write like a good article for like the Wall Street Journal. I'm sure there already is one. It'll be landing tomorrow. Just like one of those fun little weird things on the internet that you would never think could be a thing, and yet someone is gambling big time. Then people gamble for him more likely.
Sounds interesting. I don't know. I don't have anything to add to that, but that's cool.
I said at the beginning, these are two things that you may have something to say about or may not. I just thought it was really cool.
I just kind of find it insane that he's willing to put out 50,000 K to
Right? Well, he works for
do that,
Amazon, so I'm sure he'll make that back eventually. He's a fucking engineer, you know?
Still, I'm fucking.
It's cool. It's the future. That was 2 cents.
Yeah.
This was episode 98. We hope to see you again on 99 and 100. Listen now or in the future or never. It doesn't matter because we'll keep doing it. Or at least not this one, something else. If I hadn't mentioned it before, Tyler, I'm thinking about doing an interview show in the near future. So maybe it'd be great to have you on there and talk in long form without like, oh yeah, did you see this news point, by the way? I want to talk about it. You can hear me talk about it. It'd be fun to get you on there. Maybe we could do like a podcaster block where I only interview podcasters and ask them what makes them tick or why they're so like focused or dedicated to putting their voice out there on a daily or weekly or whatever basis for the
you
people
gotta
that
get
they've
Kevin
never
Smith
met.
if you do
It's
that.
never gonna fucking happen.
If you do that, I'm gonna make sure it happens.
I'll send him my
I will
fleshlight
personally
ad.
tweet at Kevin Smith every week and be like, dude, please do me this solid and just do this show.
The way I'll make that happen.
Give it like 5 years, it'll
Here's the
happen.
way I'll make it happen. I'll go to LAX, I'll pose as a TSA agent, and I'll say, hey, I really want to get a picture with you, but I can't because I'm a TSA agent. And he's like, oh, I got you. No problem, dog. I love your mullet. I'm like, okay, I'm joking. I'm actually recording this. This is not a smartphone. You're on my podcast now. We're doing an interview. I'm like, you got spunk, kid. And we call it like a Forvnine with Kevin Smith or something. It'd be episode 4. Episode 4. Speaking of, I got my Clerks X DVD. I'd give it a 9 out of 10 condition. The case on one side is peeling on the paperback like slipcase, but the discs are
mine is
great.
still clean,
It had
by the
well,
way.
I mean, I bought this second or third hand off of eBay. It was packed.
I've
superbly.
preserved mine quite well.
But yeah,
Yeah, how much did yours cost?
it was like $6.50, which is good for something out of print.
Yeah.
And it still has the insert in the sleeve. It didn't have the piece of paper taken off the back.
Does it smell like shit or?
No, it smelled like a DVD.
good,
It didn't have any
good.
like aroma or odor to it. Like it just, it's good. I need to watch it soon, just because the last time I saw it, I think I've seen it 2 or 3 times. I bought it when I did because Caitlyn just died. Okay, or the actress that portrayed her.
Yeah.
But the real reason I bought it was, like I said, I've seen it like 2 or 3 times, 3 or 4 times, and I've never seen it since I've been an actual clerk, and I want to see if I relate more to the content, if there's things that I laugh at.
Unfortunately, you probably will.
I probably will, but I think that's going to be a
Yeah.
good thing, and then I'll feel like, oh, this is more my movie, and who knows, it could become like my new favorite Kevin Smith movie because it holds a value of my like life experience now that is more dear to me in a way, or maybe Zack and Miri, I'll like that more because same fucking deal, except I've never sold coffee. Maybe that should be your new movie. Well, you already like that movie. You should
Yeah, I've
rewatch
always
Zack
liked
and
that
Miri.
movie. I did like when I was in college. I'll probably.
No, I mean like before you leave your current job.
Well, I got multiple jobs right now.
Well,
but-
the one that has a Moby Dick like cameo, if you catch me.
Is Moby Dick in that? I'm sorry, Moby.
The green
or-
thing, the logo, the green and white logo, that's a character from a book by Herman Melville.
I am way too tired right now.
Starbucks. We're talking about Starbucks.
Uh huh.
She's a
I don't-
Moby Dick character. She's a
Yeah,
mermaid.
I don't really talk about places that I work at while I'm working at them. You know this.
No one's gonna listen. To this.
It's not the same as you, man.
I don't talk about my place of business either. It's all hush hush. It's just you didn't catch my gist, so someone catch my jizz for you.
I'm very tired.
Thanks for listening, people. Thanks for being on the show, Tyler. Thanks for donating. If you heard
Yeah,
this
you got it.
and you liked it and you want to get some of that money, I'd buy that for $1. Or rather, I think you would. Maybe 2 like Tyler did. Thanks for listening. Hope you find us online. Once again, Google Play Music, iTunes, Stitcher, podcasting.com I'm sure has me if that's a website. Probably is. YouTube's probably the best because everything's there and the search engine is really, really good. You can find Infernal Affairs. It'll pop up. I think if you type in something like no, there is no Mad Max. There should be. You'll find it. It's probably the best way. Or Twitter, dollarviews.net. You'll find it. Thanks for listening. We'll be back for another 2 weeks. Have a good one.
Have a week.
Bye.